nah, you don't even understand. I said, oh, but when I was saying you didn't understand.
I didn't know this was
There you go.
I
You're
know.
live.
Oh, wow.
Hi everybody.
Hi, gang.
Welcome to Pride Live, Henderson. We have Miss Ebony Wilkerson in today. She is coming in as our guest.
Hello,
And
everybody.
Very lucky to have her.
Fabulous Mr. Paul Sullivan.
And the beautiful Miss Davita Wallace.
Yes, they're the business. They're the business.
So how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Yeah.
Like
I wish the sun would come out.
I actually like how gloomy it is right now.
Exactly.
Well, that's
I'm
a
into
Seattle in you talking.
It is a Seattle in me. I really do miss the rain. I think that we needed it for this humidity
Yes.
and the dry.
I enjoyed it last night.
Yeah.
That was
Did it
nice.
rain last
It did. It rained. Well, I don't know what part of, you know how it is here. Like, it's like you could rain within like a block of each other. You
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it rained for a little bit last night at like the 7 o'clock hour.
I was sleeping really good then.
Oh, yeah. No, we took some good one. I actually waited in my car because I was going to walk into my apartment and I waited in my car till it died down just because I don't want to walk in this.
Yeah. I would walk in it.
Yeah, I had my dog in the car with me.
Yes.
I had my phone on me, and I was like, I don't feel like getting soaked.
Yeah.
It's really a white baby. Me too. I would have walked in it.
All right, so today we're just, having our first guest. And Ebony mentioned last week that we were talking about, our history. Paul and I were sharing our story.
Mm-hmm.
And Ebony chimed in the comments and mentioned that she was raised by a lesbian. So we had her coming in. Her mother is a lesbian. I can't get the words out of my mouth today. I feel like I can't talk. I'm stumbling all over the place.
Well, she's since passed.
Yes.
Yes, may she rest in peace.
And I think that's what was making me stumble a little bit. So, yes, my
Thank you.
condolences. We just kind of want to chime in with you and see how that was for her lifestyle, being brought into that environment that way.
You kind of hear all these things being on the table. I recall hearing, a lesbian woman and a man can't raise a child.
Oh, yeah.
And that is so fraudulent because I am a productive adult in society and I was very much so raised by a woman that was with another woman. The quirks of it, she combed hair, she cooked, she cleaned, she worked, she did it all. And she was most definitely a stud. The best memory that I can recall of her was her combing my hair for Easter Sunday. And it was so funny because my auntie was like, no, I got it. And she's like, I'm doing it this year. And she did it and it was cute. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think so. I'm like, no, Mom, you can't curl my hair. But she actually curled my hair. And I was like appalled because I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen her in a dress 3 times total in my lifetime. And it looked really awkward. I'm the girl that just was like so in love with the look on my mom. Like everything about her to me was awesome. Her style, just her whole makeup, the way she walked, the way she smelled. And my friends used to be like, "Oh, she is bomb," and I'm like, "You gay?" And they're like, "No, I'm not gay." And I'm like, "You gotta be gay because that is a woman." And we was like, "No, I'm not gay." I'm like, "So then what is it?" And then, so she just used to laugh all the time. And she was really like one of the kind of people where you wouldn't know she was gay really, except that her demeanor, what she wore, kind of gave off it. But like her and her woman didn't walk around hand in hand hugging. I don't know. Today's society and the community is totally opposite of what I grew up around. It was more closed off. You knew, but you didn't know.
It was behind the doors.
Yeah.
It wasn't like affection.
It
having to
wasn't.
show affection in
It
public.
wasn't. It was really
No
private.
PDA.
And so for me today, I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Oh yeah.
I'm seeing it everywhere, and I don't have a problem with it. I'm like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys
Which is,
doing?
it's so cool that you said that too, because it's almost like reverse. It's like, we talked about, coming out and how your parents take it.
Yeah.
And it's funny in a way that it's like your mom almost in a way, she knew who she was, in a way, it's like coming out to your kids kind of.
Yeah.
It's like reverse a little bit where it's like, it's like you put the ball in the court of your children to understand and to
Right.
embrace it and to like come around in their own time.
Yeah, see, for me, it was different because you got to remember, I was born in 80. So think about that whole era. It was really cliche. It was really private. So then to top it off, my mom was a lesbian, and then all of her sisters became lesbians. It's 6 girls total and 2 boys. The boys the boys were straight. The girls were kind of teeter-tottering around. And then the thing that killed it was there were 3 of the girls that were actually lesbians, and then the other 3 were heterosexual. And then all of a sudden, you look up, and I was probably 16, and then all of a sudden, everybody's gay. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Right.
What is going on? Right, like, I'm serious. And now everybody is married to men, and there's only one left outside of my mom, and my mom is resting in peace now. But my oldest auntie is actually a lesbian, full throttle, and married to a woman the whole 9 yards. Her whole lifestyle is just what it is. She preaches the gospel, and she came completely out of the closet preaching the gospel. And it was like, wait a minute, because you already understand what that part of the community stands for. So it was like, for a long time, she was like, I'm not doing it, I'm gonna preach. And I'm looking at her, and she's like, so you're not gonna walk with me in ministry? And I'm looking at her like, listen, you're gonna get me in trouble. And I don't have time to get in trouble with you. So then we did a revival. She did her little revival, and then all of a sudden, she came out the closet. No, did you do that?
That's so cool. I mean,
That's
that's
cool.
brave.
I thought it was really brave. I thought it was really, like the epitome of all woman, like for real.
Absolutely.
But it was like, own your own self. I watched her do it, and to this day, she is unapologetically who she is, no matter what, across the board.
As she
Good for
should be.
her. Yeah, you don't have to fit into one box.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she don't, and she makes it understandably, undeniably understood that she is who she is. My mom left here as who she was. I watched her process. I watched her life change. She was sitting in my house 2 years post her leaving here, and we had a conversation, and she goes, well, I'll just say this to you. I don't agree with everything everybody say, but let me say this. And I said, what, Mom? She said, there's a part of me that's wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean? And, it sparked this whole big old conversation. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Out of all these years being who she was, and I mean completely across the board who she was.
Just so confident in who she
Right,
was
like,
and knowing
Never
herself.
seen the
Yeah.
uncomfortability nowhere, plus an addict, like, all of it. And she owned it all. And then all of a sudden she says, I don't want to do any of this anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? It gets really weird, real controlling,
But she's
real
going through some
dominant.
changes.
And
Yeah.
she's holding on to me with dear life. She don't want to let me get married. She don't want to let me, it was just all these things. And then all of a sudden to get to this soft side, and I'm like, wait, what is that? I meet my fiance, and she's like, out of everybody I've dated in all of my years, she would fight. So there was this whole inner fight with me. Well, what do you want me to do? You want me to be gay? You want me to be gay like you? And I would never say it to her for the longest. And finally one day I said, so what do you want me to do? Because I'm going to be me, and I don't want to do this the way you want me to do it. So what do you want me to do? I'm tired of the fight. What are we doing? She goes, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, this is all why she's telling me she don't want to do any of it anymore, period. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? So we're going back with the what do you mean?
Yeah.
So finally she's like, I don't want to sleep with anybody. I'll just, instead of erring with God, I'll just not do anything. I'll leave here and I'll be single, and I won't go do nothing else nobody else do. I won't go do what my sisters did. I won't go get married because I'm not going to apologize with who I am. I won't sleep with anybody. I'll become celibate, and I'll leave here just by myself. And that's exactly what she did. She left her by herself. And I was like,
Did that kind of break your heart a little bit?
For me, because we knew it was coming, in spite of not wanting to let go, and with who I am in the most inner parts of me, I was okay with it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was okay with it was because I can't say I'm who I am if I deny the fact that it was her time.
Yeah.
And so therefore for me and who I am in the belief in which I stand, I have to understand transition has to take place even when we don't want it to.
Yeah.
That's
And the process of life is life and death, the beginning and the end, no matter which way you go in which order. So therefore, I had to watch her process. And
That is
so
such a
my
great
prayer,
Yeah.
when
I
it
can
all
understand
first,
that.
when it all first took place, I left here and went to Memphis for 6 months. I was supposed to relocate completely. 6 months came, I was there, and we came back. So the diagnosis for the cancer came, and right as I'm coming back, And so she's like, well, I'm not doing anything. And it was like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's confusing when you're saying that,
Right.
because you're like,
It's like, what do you mean?
Because you don't know her thought process at
Right.
that time.
So it's like, what do you mean? And I know her to be very headstrong, so it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I need you to explain this to me.
Yeah.
So she broke it down and she's like, listen, I'm not cutting on myself, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'll do the treatments that I can do, and past there I'm not doing anything. So post all of that, she started her chemo, she did the chemo, and when she came out of the last round of chemo, she was going to the store and walked across the street and got hit by a truck. Body flew up 25 feet in the air and hit the ground. So you see my statue. My mom is built exactly like me. 25 feet in the air, concrete,
Yeah.
a truck, and she still was able to come out with a broken shoulder, broken arm, complete surgery in the hand, reconstructed,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. And the cancer had went into remission at that point. It came back 2 months later, or a month later, so they had to go back around again. And when she went into the second one, it was a wrap. It was pretty much done. It was like she wasn't eligible for the surgery. She finally made up in her mind she wanted to do the surgery, this one little surgery. So they went in December the 10th that year, and it was a 13 to 16 hour surgery. She went down the first hour. They called for the family. We can't do it. Okay. Fast forward, we pass all of that, get to the best part of it, and she said, okay, well, we're just gonna do what we're gonna do. So we celebrated the whole year, and that following year, in June, after I turned 40, she closed her eyes. We had our time, so for me, I think it was just.
So sorry for your loss, though.
Thank you.
I know it's later, but
Absolutely.
yeah, but still.
Thank you guys.
Hold that thought.
This is amazing. The battery's gonna go dead, so I want to put this in while we're going, so
Sure.
we don't lose
Yeah.
what we're doing. Because
So, yeah.
that was like amazing, and if we lost any of that, that would be
That
bad.
would be heartbreaking.
So basically, she pretty much, she fought until she couldn't fight anymore. My 40th birthday, so in my family we do 18, 21, 16, 18, 20, and 40, and you know, the big
Yeah.
numbers. And so my 40th birthday, I had to say goodbye.
I'm so sorry.
So
That's
20,
wild.
I
I'm
was
so sorry
the
to hear
9th
that.
of June, on the 29th of June last year, she said goodbye. So it was pretty cool though, because she got to say goodbye.
Right, that's special. And if you can see the positive in that, that's huge. And it can make the experience, it can
Oh yeah, because
which is the best.
you have a family as big as mine, and everybody was, you know, people say, oh, God heal her. Well, what is the definition of healing?
Yeah.
And what do you mean when you ask him to heal someone? You can ask him to heal them naturally, but what do you get in the natural
Yeah.
when you're asking him to heal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh it out on every angle, and most people don't have that view to look from every angle. So for me, when she got hit by the truck, my prayer was, God, whatever you do for her in this season and the next season, heal her from the inner to the outermost
Yep.
courts. And if it's your will, if you do nothing else, keep her long enough to process your will to be done.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And that's what I know.
Yeah.
So therefore for me, my goodbye was more so, I can't believe you're gonna do this to me. One of those.
Yeah.
Really? We gonna do this?
Yeah.
All I have is me and my mom and my 2 daughters.
Yeah.
I have a big family, but when you talk about intimacy, it's me, my mom, my daughters.
Sometimes you can have so many people you love, but then there's like a certain subsect that's like your whole heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
pretty much I buried her on the 11th of July last year. I walked in here August the 1st and sat at the table, interviewed, and walked in on the 3rd for orientation. So it's a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I had been looking and looking and looking and looking and looking for a job, and I kept telling fiance, can't find a job, it's too. It was
It was
a
just
heck
the
of a
perfect
battle.
storm.
It
Yeah.
was a battle. And most people are like, how are you? That's how you see me walking through here looking like who did it, what for? Well, if anybody actually knew the story, you'd understand I don't even know how I was walking through here. Like, at all.
You still gotta move, everything still moves forward. You just gotta
And it's the
kinda
best thing you can do for yourself,
Yeah.
even if it feels like you're forcing it. You
Oh,
fake
yeah,
it,
you have
fake
to
it till
force
you
it
make it,
sometimes.
and it really does.
Yeah,
It gets you
that
through
concept
it.
goes a long way.
It gets you over that hump. It really does.
Mhm.
Yes, you do. You have to learn to be comfortable within your comfortability, even though you're uncomfortable in the uncomfortable. And that's the part that I had to
Say
learn.
that again 3 times.
Like, yeah, you have to, it's okay to not be okay sometimes,
Yeah.
and then to just get yourself over that hump.
And you have to know when it's okay, that you're not okay, to acknowledge the fact that you're not okay, to be okay,
Mhm.
in spite of it all. And that's what I had to
It all
learn.
gets you to a better place
Yes.
if you can just work through it.
Oh, yeah.
So for our viewers and for, being raised by a lesbian and being, coming from a household, with same-sex parents, what would you say to the viewers as far as, a positive attribute, like?
What was something, from your experience that, people
was
that may
always-
have a more traditional.
For me, it was fun because I was always able to have the view of another woman in spite of my mom, because my mom was more dominant, so her take at me dating was like, no, not happening. And then her woman would be like, hey, or me, for instance, I wanted to wear heels, and she thought I was too young to wear the heels. And I'm like,
She's got the fatherly
What do you mean?
perspective of
Right,
everything.
like-
so everything was always more of a male
little more
standpoint,
protecting
more
you.
dominant.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking
If
about?
we could
Yes.
freeze this moment in
So,
time.
like,
So you're 18,
Can
don't
you
know college.
Exactly. So can you imagine her picking me up for the weekend from Job Corps, for instance, and the first time her seeing me in a body dress and heels,
Mm-hmm.
she almost lost her whole soul.
Yeah.
She's like, wait a minute, no.
I can actually imagine that. I
No.
see pictures of your mom too. I
Like,
can see
no,
her face.
what are you doing? No. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm wearing this. No, you're not wearing that, Ebony. And it's like, so then the argument proceeds.
Mhm.
And her woman is like, no, she's
This
16.
is normal.
She's at the age where her nails are supposed to be done. And I had already been getting my nails done, and that was a fight too, because I was 12 when I did my first set of nails. So like all of my fanfare, my aunties are girls. So the fanfare my drag came from all over, like the girlfriends, my aunties, and then my friends' mothers and sisters and stuff.
Yeah.
So the drag, it was just like, yes, ooh. My mom, I still like boy clothes too, though. That's the thing. I like to put on a good pair of baggy jeans. The TLC look, I love it, always have.
Yep.
But then I get told, hey, that spirit, you can't walk in that spirit. And it's like, wait, what spirit? I understand to know what they're speaking of, but it kind of comes off really offensive from time to time.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when it's not that I want to operate there.
Mhm.
It's my comfortability.
Mhm.
I don't always want to put on my stilettos.
No.
I don't always want to put on cute hair and long hair, and there's these days I want to
Same.
put on a cute baseball cap to the back.
Sometimes I don't.
You know, my holy jeans and my
My hair
sweatshirts and my
makeup,
combat
yeah.
boots. Like, literally. And then there's those days that I want to put on MAC, and I want to put on my eyelashes, and I want to wear my long weave, and I want to be all extra. But my mom, she didn't like it at first. But then she had this moment, I don't know, it was like she had this epiphany one day. And it was some kind of formal I was going to.
Mhm.
And I had got all ready for the formal, and she just kind of looked, and she just was staring. And she was like, oh my God, look at my baby doll.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you do like it. It's the fact that you don't want to agree with, it's my problem too with my daughters. I get it today. I didn't get it then. You don't, it's hard to let them grow up.
Time goes so fast anyway, so it's
Yeah.
like you feel like anything that's gonna accelerate it, you're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're gonna freeze this moment in time for as much as we can.
But then the part that I could appreciate about her in her role was the fact that she understood a guy's perspective. So even though it would come off really wrong, though, it would come off so wrong for so many years, and then finally years down the road,
It clicks.
it clicks and it
Mhm.
goes, oh.
But that's
But
the
she's
thing,
able to have a
you won't get it
masculine
now, but you'll
perspective.
get it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see it coming because you're young and kind of,
Yeah,
I don't want to say you're
in the midst of
naive,
it.
but you're kind of
You
oblivious to
are.
it. And then when you experience it so many times, or at the point where you're more rational with yourself, that's
Yeah.
when it makes sense. Things don't make sense to us when we're youth.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the thing.
Because
That's,
you can't tell yourself that you're thinking incorrectly. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't look at yourself under magnifying glass.
you
and be
haven't
like,
lived long enough.
Everything
The
is
experience
right.
isn't there.
So you say, and I like with my daughter, my baby, she'll be 18 on Sunday, and we have been in the battle for 2 years now.
Yeah.
I just recently found out how old the guy is that she's dating and living with, and I don't agree with it across the board. But then someone brought something to the forefront of my mind, and they go, well, she kind of learned it from you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then, you know, you want to get mad and you want to kind of go about it, but then you have to really look at it for real.
Mhm.
It was like, oh, yeah, okay. So then you got to digest those things. So you just kind of, it's kind of a trial and error, and you live and you learn. And I really take that one right there, live and learn. It's
Yes,
true.
it's true.
Yeah.
I live and learn.
It
Still
is
to this
true.
day, it's true.
Oh,
It's so true.
everything is a learning curve. It's a process. But
Yeah.
So do you have any kids?
I do not, and I
Okay.
don't plan on ever having a
None?
family. So don't even put that out.
You know
there.
what's so
I'm
funny?
kidding. I'm kidding. I love you.
I was like, what?
You're
I
sweet.
understand,
He
but
said
I
the same
asked.
thing. I asked him like a while back when we first met
She's
out there, and I
yeah.
was like, you don't want any kids? Because his personality's so fun, you would think.
Right.
But he was like, no, I'm just like that.
Like literally with, I mean, just with all the options
Yeah.
there are today.
I love my
that
nieces
weren't when
so
they were
much.
little. Like,
Hope
with-
and Nora, if you see this, I love you.
Yeah.
Would I want them for more than 3 hours every couple of weeks for like maybe a movie? I don't think so.
No?
No, I love them
That's
to
wild.
pieces, but parenting, I give every parent all the credit in the world. That is probably the scariest and toughest thing on the planet. I do not have, I don't have the parental bone in my body, and I don't have, unfortunately, no desire. I like being a dog. I'm a dog dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like having my dog.
He likes being a fur father. It's okay.
Exactly.
Which is
That's
okay.
that's the extent of my thing.
No.
But parents, though, I can safely say, it's that anytime I hear any parent's perspective, like you, and then you talking about your mother, it's like, I don't know how they do it.
You know
but
what, though? It's good
God
that
bless
you know
them.
it
It's
now.
heroes walking this earth is what that is. 'Cause, wow, that's
Yeah.
like
Oh, I
otherworldly.
like how you said that.
It's true,
Yeah.
though. I think
It
about it,
is
I'm like,
very.
it takes a certain type of person. It
Oh, yeah.
seems, because, you know, there are so many parents in the population, your thought process is, well, if so many people are doing it, how hard can it be? Like, especially
Yeah.
when you're a kid,
It's
you're like,
very-
you just think of it's like the norm, and then, you know, when you become an adult, then you realize how much goes into that. You're like, oh my god.
Oh, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and
Oh,
tears.
yeah.
You find yourself like, I'm
Blood,
sorry,
sweat,
mom,
and
yeah.
tears. Cause I, literally, cause I've never in a million years, I raised all my cousins. I'm the oldest grandchild. So I'm first everything across the board. So it was kind of like, I got to experience parenthood before
Early.
I even, yes.
It's always the firstborn.
So-
I was the firstborn too. Like
Yes.
sisters. Oh
I
my
didn't
gosh.
think for a long time I was even gonna want to do it. And so when it actually transpired and happened, it was like, okay. And right as I was getting used to the oldest daughter, Robin, it was like, here comes Heavenly, and Heavenly came right as my grandmother was getting ready to leave, actually.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they say he takes one and gives
Yes,
one.
yep.
And
Yep.
so, and I find that to be real true. Literally, I was just like, I don't do this. I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it happened anyhow. So, Robin is different. They're opposite. They're so much alike.
No
but they're
instruction
so-
manual.
They're so much alike, but they're
No,
so
no,
different.
no.
And then they are definitely me, but they're the double side of me.
Yeah.
Robin is my calm, cool, collect nerd. It's the girl that comes in here and do the job, and Heavenly is the girl that used to turn up all the time.
The free
that-
spirit, the
yes,
wild card.
always
Yeah.
want to be everywhere and always want to pop off and want to have fights.
Yeah.
And yes, that is
That's
her.
too funny.
Yes.
I don't have any kids, so I don't know what to expect. I do want kids,
I know.
but my numbers dwindled. I went from 6 to like, I'm just trying to get one.
Okay, can I help you just take the one, okay?
Okay, can I
Just
get
take
2?
Take the two if you want the two. But take the one first, but with the one for like 2 years. And
Oh, I
then-
know, I'm gapping mine
Yeah,
out.
gap them out 2 years.
I watched
They're
my
2 years
sisters.
apart.
I watched my sister.
Yeah,
do it.
gap them out.
She would exactly.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
gap them out
each
5
back.
years apart, gap them 2 years apart.
Yeah.
And then
So,
I want
reevaluate.
my,
Literally,
if I
have
have
to
to, I want mine to
18,
play.
Robin is
Have a
20.
playmate, yeah.
Yeah, Robin is 20. She is in her second year of college, and Heavenly is 18 on Sunday. So I would say 2 years.
Heavenly,
Never.
the one here?
Mhm,
Okay,
that's
okay,
the
okay.
baby. The
Okay.
hard-head one.
Haven't met Heavenly yet, but
Yeah,
I'll look forward to
hard-head,
it.
stubborn,
Oh,
bullheaded.
Oh, she
Yeah.
works here?
She
just
actually will
got
be
hired.
here.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. When did she start?
On the 2nd.
Oh wow, high
Great
five. Exciting, good for her.
Great call.
Oh, yeah.
And this is funny. She says, "Mom, don't you want to give me a job where you?" And I'm like, definitely not.
Not really.
Not really. And then I thought about it.
You're like, I can keep tabs on her.
Yeah. No, because you want to know, I really had to get to this place with her. I have to let go and let God. All the way around the map. If I trust him for everything else, I have to trust him all the way.
Yeah.
And literally with that little girl, I have literally had to recondition my relationship with God. Because literally that one right there has chosen to do everything across the board that you should not do to your mom. Or just to yourself, not even to your mom, to yourself. You want to leave home 3 years early. You shouldn't leave home right now. You shouldn't have left home 2 years ago. You should actually still be at home getting ready to leave home maybe next year when you turn 19.
Have like a plan in place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So instead you want to do it your way. So you did it your way. Happy. Fine.
But you gave her a plan B coming here, so it was a good motherly thing to do.
I
Or not
honestly-
even that. I mean, all she had to do was come and apply.
And literally, and that's all
I know
I told
she
her.
picked your brain though, because you picked mine.
Girl, she walked in the house last week. She says, "Mom, can you help me take my assessment?" I said, "Absolutely
No,
not."
no.
Absolutely not.
You're like,
That's
you get this
what
on
I
your
said,
own,
"Why would I
right?
help you?" I said, "Didn't I tell you when you first asked me about the job to apply for the job if you wanted the job?" I said, "Didn't I tell you that God will give you what you want if
Yeah.
you go for
You gotta
it?"
be like Nike,
And she
you did.
said, "What?"
Yep.
I said, "You didn't even catch the memo when you first." She asked me like 5 times, y'all. And I'm like, I'm not doing no application. I'm not doing anything. You want the job, do the application. And
That's
I
unheard.
really originally told her, I said, wait until you turn 18 and then apply. Well, you know, smart heavenly, she did it anyway. I knew she was going to do it anyway. I wanted her to do it. That was the thing. And I'm not going to keep telling you, and I'm not going to tell you. I want to see what you're going to do. Show me that I imparted in you what was
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
If you can't show me, then
I
I
know.
don't, you know. So when she did it, hi everybody. When she called, she said, "Mom, I did it. I said, what are you talking about? 'Cause, you know,
Yeah.
she called me all during work hours. It'd be like, Emily, when I told her the other day, I can't wait till you start work, 'cause I'm gonna call you all day every day."
Yeah.
No,
So,
you're not. Wait a
no,
minute. I
I'm
just
not.
was
I'm
like, wait a
not.
minute.
I'm definitely not. She needs to keep this job. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't want to face
No,
another.
of course.
However,
I'll help
so-
him walk the floor for you, make sure she hears.
Listen. So she says, "Well, I did the application." I said, "Oh, okay." She says, "You're not gonna call your boss. You're not gonna call none of your friends at your job. You're not gonna call none of your staff." I said, "No." She said, "Really? You're not gonna call nobody? You're not gonna call Davita?" I said, "No." Call Davita,
I
please.
can't do
I
nothing.
said, "What's she gonna do? She don't run great call no more."
And
She's
you're
like,
gonna,
"But you
yeah.
said she ran great call." I said, "That
I
you
ran
listen."
this great car.
I said, "Oh, you listen." That's what you
Right.
know. I was like, "Oh, you listen."
Right.
So I'm like, she don't run Great Call anymore. She's my boss now, and I don't work for Great Call. Emily. She's like, "But mom." I said, "Listen, well, I got my interview on this day." I said, "Okay, congratulations." "Oh, you're not happy for me. Seem like you're a buzzkill." I'm like, "What are you talking
A
about?"
buzzkill?
Because I wasn't all running
I
off the house,
love
and, you know. And so
No.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
the day comes for the
You
interview.
just gave her that push that she needed, that's all.
It's no different than what was done to me growing up.
Yeah.
Period. You want it, go for it. Let me see what you're working with. And when you
Show
get to
me.
when you get to a place that you don't want to sit in your box and sustain what's in your box, and you want to go out of the box that I created for you, show me what you're working with.
Yeah.
And that's where I've gotten with her in this 2-year window with everything that has transpired between her and I. Guess what? Show me what you're working with. Show me that I've given you your life skill. If you show me that I've given you your life skill, then I'll show you something else to go with it, and not a second before it. Not a second before it. Your car, I want an Audi. I want a Benz. Do you see me in my Benz yet?
Good.
Like you're 18.
Yeah.
Are you what? Your insurance
Exactly.
Your insurance by itself is gonna be your car note.
Right. Exactly.
$800 to drive.
Some things
Like-
just won't be in the cards for a while, if
like,
ever.
like,
Sometimes you
I'm
just.
just like, girl, leave me alone. Leave me alone, please leave me alone.
That's too
So
funny.
yeah, but life is good still, in spite of it all.
Well, no matter. I can't wait to
Yeah.
hear.
Well,
Really
congratulations,
exciting.
and I hope you guys have a great birthday party for her on Sunday.
Yeah.
What? 2 years of drama. You want me to know? Want to know? She turned 16 when she started cutting up. I've not celebrated her birthday since 15. I'm not celebrating her birthday this year. Happy 18th birthday, sweetheart. Here's your birthday card. Here's your sundress, and here's your sandals. I'm gonna leave here and go get them.
That's nice. I say, you know what? That's still very nice. So there you go.
Her sundress gonna be about $20. Her sandals is gonna be like 10, 15. You already
Well,
know
but
that.
it's still
Right.
generous.
That's
You
just
don't have to do it.
acknowledging the fact that I birthed you 18 years ago. That's it. That's it.
That's all right. You got her what she need to be right here
Yep.
with her own money. So that's
That's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that she has shown, like literally with it all, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in spite of it all. Because the one thing she did show me, where I thought I was lacking, she showed me that I set the foundation.
You did set that foundation. She understands it.
She showed it to me.
It might be a backwards way that you get to that conclusion, but it doesn't matter.
Yes.
What's important is that you got there, though.
Backwards.
So, because I know with people watching this, your words of wisdom is like it's very. I'm gonna say maybe it might be incorrect, but I'm gonna say it's very preachy, and I want people to understand who you are. So outside of RDI, what is it that you do?
Outside of RDI, I actually am a preacher. I served in California as an international evangelist for many years. I took a break and I revamped and came back when I touched Vegas some years later. Just recently sat down again based off of some things that transpired that I will not discuss, that I'm just regrouping, but God is still head of my life.
Yep.
Okay.
Good for you,
Amen
honey.
to that.
And I love that you're just authentically yourself and that you're not in one box. You're
Oh,
just,
this is all day long.
You just are. I was gonna say you have so many sides to you but they're all lovely and they're
Yes.
all so genuine and authentic.
Yes.
And so that's one thing that's so special about you.
Thank
The
you.
one thing I can say about Ebony, especially because I work hand in hand with her every day, all day long, and sometimes we hang on the weekend, which is always, it's a lot of fun, and hopefully tonight, or this weekend, or tonight, maybe one or two, is that she always has words of wisdom, positive words of wisdom, especially in the worst of days. Like, I've had experience some words of wisdom here and there quite a few times.
That's
for
when you need to
myself,
hear it, though.
and
That is always when you need to hear it
definitely
most.
definitely necessary. And even with my relationship, you know, she sees it on a different standpoint, and with the experience of her upbringing, it's kind of, it's not kind of, it is good to hear from me, because it kind of brings me back to what I need to recognize and acknowledge and maybe take to a different outlook or a different path, if you will.
Mhm.
So I like talking to her. It's just, I don't know, as far as our conversations and how she communicates with me, she always gives that open door. And I feel like speaking to Ebony, even with what she does on the outside of RDI, like, it could be helpful to our community too.
Yeah.
So I feel like if there is anybody that someone could talk to and just needed those good words of wisdom on anything in life, like Ebony would be someone to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've enjoyed every second of it every day. She's a bottle of fire.
Such
Her
a
energy is always up
We
here.
love you.
Always up here. I have
We
to
love
keep
you.
up with you.
And it's the positivity, though.
You'll be shocked.
After we fed you breakfast this morning, when we fed the whole office,
I needed it.
that energy went through the roof, and I was like, yo.
I was in my bed. I was like, can I revive somebody? Revive me, please.
Yeah, right.
Well, we love you,
Right.
though. We love you, though. We appreciate
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
For
I
just
love
being
guys
who you
too.
are and bringing that to the table.
Yeah, yeah,
It has been
definitely.
It has been an awesome year. I can honestly say you guys have helped me reestablish myself in a space that I felt neglected in for a while, because I was off prior to being here. I was off for 5 years. I was at Barclay Card, and I left there and was unemployed for 5 years. So
Wow.
This is my first level of employment back in the work environment for 5 years. So for it to be a year and a couple of days, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
RDI is a beautiful company. I've enjoyed every day that comes here. I don't ever wake up like, we hit this.
There's always some reason
There's
to
always
have
a
it.
reason why I come to work, and
Right.
I'm always in the most like happiest filled mode, I don't know, mindset, and I look forward to seeing everyone here. You're one of the few people I love to
Right.
Zoom, no Zoom, because she's
All that.
work at home, y'all. She just came to the
Yeah.
office today. I tried to get her to come in, and I can't do it. But when the energy you see in here is the same energy you see and you hear in Zoom, and I swear she does not let up. So if you're just off for the day, she will bring you back.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
make sure you're on
Shannon.
your
Hi,
toes.
Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Shannon
I
and
miss
Ron,
you.
checking in. We love you guys.
So as far as words of wisdom, what would you say to the gay community, RDI as well, employees, people outside of RDI?
What
What's
I
a
would
good
say to
thing?
the community, as far as the LGBT community, I would say do not allow anyone to discourage you at all with nothing, especially with the Word of God, most definitely, because I don't like the way people like to shoot it across the table and play games with it. It is incorrect. Most definitely know Him for yourself. Build a relationship for yourself. Know yourself for who you are and what you are. And never let nobody make you miss the mark. And that's for certain. Love yourselves and love everyone else ahead of you. That's for sure. And as far as
Wise
my
advice, too.
community,
Yeah.
as far as work is concerned, you guys, love the atmosphere. The atmosphere has always been wonderful for this whole time that I've been employed here. Just be the same. Stay true to who oneself is at all times.
Oh, yes. I like how you
Beautiful.
said
Well
that.
said.
I couldn't have said it
Great
any
advice
better.
for anybody, even
Yeah.
outside of the LGBTQ plus.
Yes.
Just good advice for anybody who just needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do thank you for coming on to the show today. I hope
Yeah,
you
we
come
loved
back
having
around
you.
too.
Thanks for coming in today.
Yes. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Next Friday, I think we're going to do something a little special, a little
Yeah,
different.
we have a special guest coming in from outside of RDI, a great person, Tim, hi hon,
Hi,
a great
Tim.
person, a great friend of one of our very own, Vanessa Rosas. He's a
Yeah.
great friend of hers. He's coming in to talk to us. We don't want to give too much away because it's going to be a really cool one. So stay tuned and watch us next Friday the 6th.
Friday, yes.
It's going to be a great one.
All right, everybody. Have a good day today. Happy Friday. Happy Payday Friday. And
Yeah.
Right? Bills.
I know.
Pay your
I know,
bills,
right?
people.
Exactly.
Make sure you pay your bills.
You want to go ahead and click intro. And
Where?
live.
Where I'm clicking.
I got it. Where I'm clicking.
No.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, where'd it go?
No.
I think you just have to go to the different tab, hon.
It won't let me go there.
At the top, maybe? Try the last one.
Do anybody want to see the Aretha Franklin movie? Just curious to know. I want to see it.
I can get there, but it's not letting me go there. So
Double click on it, maybe.
let's see. Paul, I lost the mouse. Oh, there it is. There it is. I found it. He has it joined.
Perfect.
I was like, Paul, I lost the mouse.
You